Hello, good evening. Tonight we are going to look into more Moscow, Idaho stuff. I started a spreadsheet. My Virgos and Aries will be proud. But I started a spreadsheet because there was a question, and I'd like to thank you, about things that are going on in there that, so I don't want to be like cryptic about it, but because I'm going to use the archetypes for the names. The archetypes that we have, I'm only going to say it once, so I might need to save this. But the Hierophant is the government. The Emperor is Daddy Warbucks. Dylan is the Queen of Wands. Dimitri's the Hermit. The Hot Cowboy is the Eight of Pentacles. Sigma Chi is the Knight of Swords, and the four students are the World. That being said, the next bit of information, so this is what we have this is one of the things, but I have it on a spreadsheet now with the diagram. Oh, and this is the next thing. So someone asked me to look into the church there and the people in it. My guess is that Daddy Warbucks is going to be, and you can look this all up, please do your own research. I screenshot the links, but there's two guys in there. The reason that this is first of all, they want to have a spiritual takeover. This is a spiritual war. We know that. Well, if you don't know that, you do now. It's called the Christ Church. The pastor and the deacon are the two people I want to look up, because there was an article about them paying people off. This has nothing allegedly to do with this situation. It was something completely different, but they were paying $300,000. They promote in our culture, a culture, they're pro-slavery, pro-racism, and they like homeschooling. They also own a publishing business, and they buy property all over Moscow. Wait a second. Has someone already made a connection between the LLC that owns the house on King Road and this church? Because I don't know if they're the same, but I feel like that's something we should look into. So, this is just a card game. We're just going to pull some cards, see what the story is. I don't have a very good feeling about this, so I'll just tell you that right now. And what I don't have a really great warm fuzzy is probably for the same reason everyone else is, but there's something not right here. I guess what we should do is figure out if Christchurch has anything to do with the house. They're buying property all over the city. I just got goosebumps. I do not have a warm and fuzzy feeling about any of this. I'm just going to do a quick 5-card pull, upright yes, reversals no, to see if the church has anything, if the church is connected. I saw on Reddit that it's owned by a guy in Colorado. I don't buy it. I don't know. I don't want, here, let me clear that. Let's just see what the cards say about, like, the church and the house. Maybe there's nothing there. We can move on from that question. No, no, no. Yes, no. Very curious, though, that the one card that we got was yes. I wonder if it's trying to tell us it's not connected to the house, but it's connected to the occupants in the house. I mean, this doesn't mean literal anywhere. Except in this case, I feel like we asked about the house and we got this. So to me, that's like a connection that we could take pretty literally. I'm going to get clarity on that card. What do we need to know about this card? Two cards just jumped. You guys. Well, the Emperor's Daddy Warbucks. And the cards that jumped are the Ace of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. Well, the Daddy Warbucks is connected to this, which is connected to the house. Why? Why? I didn't even finish pulling. I'm just going to reshuffle them and get some, the rest of these reading. This, I don't know. This guy looks like a dirty. Ugh. We got another ace, Ace of Swords. Aces are a great idea, new beginning. Two of Swords. You cannot make this up. No way. You guys, no way. Then we have the Knight of Wands. This has represented, I forgot, the Queen of Swords and her little boyfriend. This card has always come up for that. So, I have goosebumps all over my body. We got the same. Okay, so we got the Emperor. The Emperor is Daddy Warbucks. Daddy Warbucks was unknown until about 5 seconds ago. And I would say that that was a good hunch. Thank you we're reading on this. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who likes, follows, shares, comments. I just started this channel and I like it. It's fun to do. So I would say we've only looked into half of this idea, and so far you're on track. And the reason I'm going to say that is because, first of all, the card that has come up for both the the Queen of Swords and her little boyfriend has been the Six of Wands. And this is like outside validation, like, tell me I'm good, tell me you love me, tell me. Well, it's people pleaser. It's like, okay, at the core, it's deep wounds and stuff and all that. But what it also is saying is like outside validation. Every reading we've done for them. And then we get the Hierophant. The Hierophant, in the very first reading I did for these guys, the Hierophant was choking the city's supply of goods. And that's why the archetypes have been assigned these names. Oh, I was about to say, if that was the Queen of Wands. So yeah, I would say that was really great. All of these cards just jumped. So we are going to do. I do this all intuitively, and it's not like I always pull 5 cards or I always pull 2 rows of 5 or whatever. That's just not my style. I just pull what feels right. And this is the Moon in reverse. This is secrets coming out. That's good news. Next to our Queen of Wands. The World is the 4 students. This is in reverse, but I'm in the medium and I'm clairvoyant and I can feel and communicate with the other side. And Ethan has been guiding a lot of this stuff. And I think it was the first reading, or it must have been the first or the second reading I did ever on these guys. Maybe it was on Ethan's reading by himself. Anyway, he showed me, this was the first card that he showed me to show us he was here. And this is like the end. Oh, and it was in reverse, so it's even more literal. So this represents the 4 kids. The answer, I'm just going to say the answer to the house and the people in it is yes. They are connected to the church. And the reason I am confidently saying that is because the Emperor, the Hierophant, and the card that represents one of the living roommates showed up top row. So, So let's clear these. This next one, the next part of that question is like very, 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 very sensitive. And I don't really want to read on it because whenever you do anything in the name of God that involves like the R word, slavery, racism, it is very sus to me. Plus the guy looks like a dirtbag. The next question that we got is very, very sensitive. I don't even have a nickname that I could give this situation, but I've thought it, and I might have already read on it. So the question was, did Brent Kopaka have anything to do with this? I know his cousin is in the comments saying, no, he's gone. And when I originally heard about that situation happening, I thought that it was very suspicious. And I remember a reader, which I can't remember who it was, but it was probably The Reckoning Co., Ashley over there, or Divine Pathways. Or it could have been, there's a lady who, what's her name? Palladian True Crime or something is her name. I'll find her. She does spirit boxes, and it might have been on there. Ethan said something about returning from the dead, which kind of aligns with this. So the question was, we'll call him BK squared, still around, and did he have anything to do with this? The card that jumped is the Eight of Pentacles. We get the Eight of Pentacles a lot in this story because there's a lot of money. People are doing this stuff and it's just work. It's not any more or any less. It's just work. Like, for example, our hot cowboy went back to the house 3 weeks later, just walked right in because he was working. He got the Eight of Pentacles. So BK squared, what jumped was work. That does not give me a warm and fuzzy feeling at all. BK did, okay, I'm going to call him BK squared because we already have a BK. And I don't even think I've done a reading on him yet. Because he's so far removed, like his energy is nowhere near any of this stuff. I can't even no. It, to me, logically doesn't make sense. I don't mind reading on it. But what I'm going to do is clear this energy. And we're going to keep the card that jumped, and we're just going to ask if BK squared had anything to do with it. Cards are ready. 4 cards just jumped, so we're going to use those, and Page of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and the cards that jumped. Page of Pentacles, the Star in reverse, the Hermit. Need a drink. Hold on. Guys. The question was, BK squared, are you involved? what we got was the 4 Idaho kids, the Hermit, the Lovers, the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands, well, everyone showed up for this party, so now that my throat or my mouth is off the floor, I would say the answer to that, I don't know, it's a soft yes at this exact second because I'm still taking in the fact that all of the players in this game wanted to show up tonight, right now on this reading. The kids, and I don't mean just Ethan, but Ethan is the one I feel the most, so I feel Ethan's energy the most. I can't make this. I literally cannot make this up. Okay. So, we asked if BK squared was involved. We got the 8 of Pentacles. He was working. No more, no less. It's like you go to McDonald's, or who cares where you work? Everyone goes to work, you do your job, and you go home, hopefully. And so, yeah, he was working. The night ended for they spun the wheel. It didn't go very well. They spun the Wheel of Fortune, and it landed on a knife expert. Funny, I wish we knew a female knife expert. We do. And we also got this guy the night that we put this guy together. Don't worry, it's in a spreadsheet. So, who else wanted to show up at that party? This is also telling me that, what is it, the card that we got for him? He doesn't have one that's come up consistently. You know which one does? Oh, it's not on here. Might as well make it this. This is telling me that his alibi is not right. You could probably poke holes with it. I don't think it's true, and I don't think it's real. The 3 of Pentacles is like the powwow. The Cups in reverse is like game over, it's party's over. The Moon is secrets. Strength. Yeah, they need strength. The first time that I read on this, or whenever, there was an Empress. I can't make this up. Here's the Empress. That was like in charge of, well, we thought she was in charge. But then we found out she's playing both sides of the fence. The only cards that we're missing right now are the Emperor and the Hierophant. The rest of the players showed up. I just looked down. Oh my gosh. You guys. This one was the card that told us it was a female had something to do with this, who happens to be very good with knives. She's like a thief and stealing happiness, lives, you name it. This could represent any of the kids that night. And this. Swords are also words. Swords can be like electronics. It can be, I just heard a thing, not just, but I re-listened to the kid who's like a student there, who was like getting his Snapchats were like blowing up and that's how they were communicating. Kaylee's dad has said like the whole student body knew before they did. Yep, they did. The news traveled fast. There was definitely a fight that night. I don't know if it was Crime Circus or who it was, but they have some film that is like absolutely appalling. And if you have a heart, you probably don't really want to look at it. He's very mindful though of like, I don't know, it's disturbing. Wait a second. Okay. Sigma Chi has represented the Knight of Swords in the past. We have the Knight of Cups here. And we have a Page of Cups. Cups are emotions. Cups are also like any water sign. This was the great idea by our Queen of Swords. This is Duality. Oh. I cannot. Duality. Perhaps if you were playing both sides of the fence, or you're playing for both teams, perhaps you'd get this card. I'll go ahead and put that on our Queen of Swords. With our Ace of Pentacles. Great idea. Great idea. Oh my goodness. So, we're going to wrap this up because the answer I would say is yes to that question about BK squared. It was just work. There was no emotions attached. Got paid. It was like the cowboy. It's like just work. It wasn't something that was like emotional. Like for our queen, she's got a lot of cups around her. Cups are emotions. We have a lot of fightings. Cards on top of the moon. That's like how this was like. I also heard probably on Reddit or TikTok that someone was live streaming this entire event, like on Snap or something. Which is like the end. To me, I know I say this every single time, but some readers read this as a new beginnings and fun. But to me, it just means like 9/11 was not anything new beginnings and fun. This was like a complete nightmare. And I'm going to go ahead and say yes, it was. Someone was an emotional wreck about this. And, oh, look, hold on. She's also, oh, I was hoping it was the one where she was staying up all night stressed. Stabbing people in the back, playing both sides of the field. What side are we on today? Are we playing for the Yankees or the Red Sox? I don't know, it depends. Which day did you get me on? This should be our card, but I think the Queen of Swords is pretty good too. Somebody was contemplating this. I don't know who thought. There's no thinking cards on here. There's like soldiers. And I mean soldiers in the way of like, I guess it could be soldier, but I mean like this was just a job, just a night, just as it wasn't. There are emotion cards on here, but not from the guy. Like, and there are some male energy, Like the Hermit is a male energy that we got that happened to be right in the center of this Wheel of Fortune. He's right at the center, taking calls, making calls, pulling strings, doing whatever you do when you're... I would call him a project manager. Except his projects end like this. And they start from a bunch of emotions. I do project management. Mine don't end like this. And by soldier, it's like there's no... I don't really know what else to say. Like, the cards are doing all the talking for me. All right, we can see what this, like, Page of Cups. Why do we have 2 pages? At least we have 2 pages. What are they here to tell us? We have the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups. El Diablo is just waiting to show up. This is my full cups. I'm so happy. Somebody filled their cups. And I don't really know. I mean, perhaps we have a psychopath on our hands that gets off on this kind of stuff because there are no emotions. This guy's just fat and happy. He just filled his cups. Someone got paid a lot of money from their deal with El Diablo. These cards speak for themselves. This was just a job for the Hermit, the 8 of Pentacles, the Lovers. Who else showed up for this party? The Hot Cowboy, Dimitri, Dylan, the Queen of Swords. You know who didn't show up? Was Daddy Warbucks in the government. Even the students showed up. Oh, Sigma Chi hasn't shown up yet. I mean, this church of this is what it should just be called the Church of this. There's a lot of pentacles on here. Pentacle, pentacle, pentacle. There's a lot of money going on through this, whether it's making money, losing money, and someone paid a lot of money to this El Diablo. What was the rest of that question? I would say hashtag nailed it. We can look more into BK squared. I am covered in goosebumps. I'm like, this is chilling. And I think it's so chilling because it's like, I didn't invite these guys and they all just showed up. They all want a seat at the table. They all want to talk. El Diablo was right above the Lovers. El Diablo has Lovers right here, chained. The Lovers are right here. They're the opposite cards. They're duality. They play both sides. It could be dark versus light, and all darkness means is absence of light. This is a spiritual war. And if you don't pray, you probably should start. And we have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. What team am I on today? And one of our players is playing both sides of this fence. She's playing up here and she's playing over here. Hi, boyfriend, I love you. Hello, Daddy Warbucks, I love you too. I guess that would be the only way you could, like... Then we have the sun in reverse. That's our little kids. That's little Ethan. Where's our world? Oh, we didn't get the world. We got the Wheel of Fortune. The sun went out. Because Daddy Warbucks is here. Calling it a church. Call it whatever you want. But the sun went out. There's a lot of money that exchanged hands. I'm not really sure. So it's a job for some. There's like no emotional attachment for some of this. Some of these archetypes are very highly emotionally involved, almost to the point of like so annoying, codependent and bossy, probably a micromanager. They put the sun out for our friends. Yeah. What was the Hermit's girlfriend's? I wonder if I wrote her down. If she showed up too. The entire cast came to the party tonight to talk about BK squared. And BK, the other one that we all know about, still hasn't shown up. I have no idea if he was there. I don't know. I haven't really ever picked up his energy. I mean, if he was, he's not innocent. I feel like I've heard Ethan say that before. I should just channel Ethan. That would be the easiest thing to do. Did I post the one where I was looking for his golf clubs? All right, so thank you so much for your question. The answer is great hunch, yes to the church, and yes to BK squared. But it was just a job to BK squared. It wasn't more or less, or he was not emotionally involved or invested in it. He could care less. He just wanted pentacles. Well, you know what that brings me to? That kid Inan or whatever, INAN or something. I took screenshots, like 20 screenshots of this rant he did on Reddit. He's like, I should look more into him. We should just do a reading on him. Well, let's ask where BK squared is right now. Because I feel like maybe that cousin energy that was like in one of the chats. Sure, it's your cousin. Does your cousin stay up at night? So stressed he can't think? Because his card just jumped out. Oh, you don't say. 2 of our friends are here for the party. I'm just going to do upright yes, reversals now. Is BK squared on this plane in this dimension? Cards that jumped, Hangman, stuck in the Star, putting stars out, and the King of Pentacles. That wasn't answering my question, but is BK squared on this plane in this dimension? Upright yes, reversals no. No, no, yes, yes, yes. And you are not going to believe who just showed up for the party. The US government. Oh no, I'm sorry. Daddy Warbucks, the lovers, and the US government all showed up for the party. The answer is yes. And these three archetypes what do these three have to do with anything right now? Well, let's get some clarity. Oh, they have deals. Well, they stay up at night stressed out now. People are seeing between the lines. This is all facade. Those cards jumped. So let's get some more clarity on BK squared and the Hierophant, the Emperor, and the Lovers. What are they doing here? They have those sticky little fingers and everything. The Hierophant has always represented the US government. Can represent contracts and lawyers and stuff too, though. Four of Swords. This, to me, is not a relaxing day at the spa. This is a man who is no longer living, laying on a coffin with a sword at his head, throat, and chest. With like a mom and a baby in the background. That's weird. I've never noticed that there was even a... You don't... King of Pentacles, the Magician, the Chariot, and Justice. Oh, thank God. Oh, and our boyfriend's back. Hi, hot cowboy. Thanks for coming to the party. So the Hierophant, the Lovers, and the Emperor called it off, called a hit. I don't know what to call it. The King of Pentacles paid big money. The Magician came in to confuse everyone, create chaos. There was a Chariot to get the fuck out of Dodge. Justice card showed up, thank God. And then we have our worker bees. They just want to get their job done. They're like master of their craft, good at what they do. They don't cause any drama. They're just in and out. These are big cards. Like, we're dealing with like all of the major arcanas. The Hermit. The Death card. The World. I'm either missing something in this story. Like, why does everyone keep showing up here? Maybe they're backing up that BK squared is here. I mean, it is like the perfect scapegoat if you have a BK that goes rogue a week before you capture the other BK. This was very, 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 very methodically, like, it was meticulously planned. Who's the Emperor? Daddy Warbucks. Our lovers are like, she's facing, or they are facing the Emperor, which is our Daddy Warbucks, which we may have just figured out who that is too. I just don't even like the whole thing is grossly weird. Then we have a dead kid, and the mom's like looking down from a stained glass window. We have the King of Pentacles. Money was changing hands. The Magician's here to create confusion. The Chariot's here to get you out of Dodge. Justice is upright though. We have our Worker Beast. We have our Hermit. We have the Death card, and we have the World. I mean, this is like the major arcana of like the spread. I mean, of this whole deck. I mean, the cards aren't even, sometimes they use parables or whatever, like they're not as clear. If there was any confusion on what we were looking at, you don't even have to know how to use tarot. If you know how to read, that will help though. But if not, that's fine too. Because we have an archetype that is always represented the same person. We have an archetype that in usual tarot, like usually when I read it, I don't read it literally. Well, right now the cards are telling me to read it literally because this is represented the 4 kids. This, I don't even have to explain it. And this has represented the kid that was in the tunnels. He was like the control. You know when in jail how they have like the control room? They can see everything that's going on around them. And technically they're like in the center of it. That's this kid. And look, you don't even know how to, you do not know, you don't have to know how to do anything. Even if you don't know how to read, if you can look at pictures, then you can see what this is saying. This guy orchestrated this to the 4 kids. It was the end. The world's the end. It's over. They used a chariot to get out of there. The other cards that we have on here that didn't have as much significance is like the 4 of Cups in reverse. That has meant the internet for these guys. And the reason I say that is because it has a cloud on it. They were communicating through the internet, electronics. Like the swords here also are very literal. They used a sharp cutting object or whatever that thing is. I don't know what we can and can't say. And I don't really want to get on any of these lists because we are not dealing with like just earthly realms. This is very much a spiritual battle. I mean, the Hierophant, the lovers that need external validation, and the Emperor showed up. These 2 right here have always represented the organization and the government, always. Well, since the first time I read on these guys like 3 weeks ago. This has always represented the lovers. One of them survived. One of them has his own exporting business. They both need external validation. I have no idea what their issues are, and I really could care less. Then, I mean, you also you don't have to know how to read tarot to know this means to me. He's laying on a coffin with a sword underneath him and 3 swords pointing at him. That to me means this. Then we have the King of Pentacles, money, 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 money. Pentacles are money, anything material, house. It's anything that you can touch. The Magician. This is only 2nd grade in the Fool's journey, but it's when he realizes that he has all of the elements inside of him that he needs to have a successful trip. Magicians also confusion, delusion, illusion. They make things like disappear. If you see, there's a kid actually, the behavior analyst or something. He does behavior analysis, but he's also a magician. He also reads people. And it's like mind fucking. Then we have the chariot. How'd they get out of there? How'd they leave? Where's the knight or the sword? Somebody was driving and there was that's a whole different story. Now we're in the court system. We're going to get justice. Hopefully we have our worker bees. They're just the master of their craft. They learn how to do X, Y, and Z. They're just here to get paid. They are not here to talk, create drama. They don't care. They have a job. They want to get paid. They're done. Then we're back to our hermit and then the 4 kids. In conclusion, yes. The answer to your question is, I would say BK squared, yes, is 100% around and involved. The church, yes, 100% around and involved. And I would even give him the name, Daddy Warbucks. I thought the US government was Daddy Warbucks. I really have to. The first reading I ever did on these guys, it was that the US government was going to be the heroes in this. And I was so confused because I've never seen the US government be heroes for anything, ever. But they were going to be the heroes. And there was just a story last night that the FBI is going back into the Idaho 4 house. For the first time in US history, the US government's going to be the good guys. So it keeps coming up. I mean, we've been reading on them for 3 weeks and it hasn't faltered, or I'm impressed 100%. Gives me faith, but I mean, the answer is yes to those questions. Excuse me, thank you for coming. It's like midnight now. I appreciate you all very, very, very much. I just did a reading following up the Matt Perry case. Some other psychics, I didn't see any of their readings, but I heard tarot readers got that it was foul play. We also got that there was big money or a will involved and some crazy days and nights. If anyone follows Crazy Days and Nights and sees a blind item on it, let me know, because we might have just nailed that thing too. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for your follows, likes, and shares. It's really awesome. I just started this channel and I really appreciate it. And if you have any more questions or you want me to do a reading on something, just shoot me. I've been responding the most through Insta, but I'll do whatever, YouTuber and stuff. So on that note, I will love you and leave you, and thank you for stopping by.